Hey guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is all about the medical coding job profession outlook as I see it. If you are new to my channel, I am Blue. I'm a medical coder. I have been a medical coder for over 10 years. I really love what I do. So I hope with my channel, by sharing the things that I know, that it will give you some insight into this wonderful field that is health information. If this video has helped you by the end, I hope you'll share it. I hope you'll give it a big thumbs up, and let's get started. Okay, so a lot of people have been asking me lately, Blue, where do you see this field going? Is this going to be around? Is it going to be taken over by artificial intelligence? Is it going away? What's the deal here? Okay, I will start off by saying this. They have been saying this since I started over a decade ago, okay? They were saying, oh yes, it's going to be taken over by artificial intelligence, and they're not going to need you coders, and we're just going to send everything else overseas. Not true, okay? I'm here to tell you that we are a long way, in my opinion, okay, this is my opinion, and we are a long way from having that perfect intelligence that is going to be able to look at a medical record and reason without having to just use little things that it's looking for in the note. Yes, they do have some programs out now that sort of speed up the process and sort of kind of take the thinking out for the doctor, but it's on the medical coder to verify and make sure that that's all correct, okay? Which you will always have to have that human element to look at what a human is documenting, okay? It's not like computer talking to computer, where computer talking to computer can make sense out of what it's doing. A computer cannot think. I mean, it can sort of strategize and maybe predict what the human might be doing, but there's no guarantee. And everybody has off days. You have some providers who document well, who document beautifully all the time. Shout out to some of my providers. But then you have ones that are just, I want to do whatever I want to do today. I'm not going to worry about all the details. I'm just going to do whatever. And then I have to go back and I have to query and all this other stuff. So there's going to be, because humans do not follow a pattern. I mean, we do, but we don't. We have, like I said, we have our off days. There's no way for this to maintain itself. Unless we have like some really obscenely smart software, which I still think is way, way far away, So no, it's not going anywhere. I've been in it for over 10 years. I'm still here. Just saying. And so then there's also the threat of, oh, it's going to be sent overseas. Again, not so. What happens when stuff gets sent overseas is if a person is reading a record, right? Reading a medical record, and English is not their first language, they're going to struggle because medical terminology is a completely whole different language all in itself. It takes a hot minute to learn about medical terminology. And not only that, you have to learn the doctor's colloquialisms, because sometimes they will say things and you're just like, what the heck are you saying? And so then you have to either know them and talk to them and ask them, sir, ma'am, what are you saying here? And, oh, well, this means this. Increased signal means this. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it's all in how the doctor or PA or nurse practitioner is documenting in the record, okay? So because of this, if you send stuff overseas to have it looked over by people who are, English is not their first language, again, they're going to struggle to understand some of these things. I have seen personally and heard of horror stories of diagnoses getting mixed up. Cardiac lead and lead poisoning are not even on the same radar, and yet it was confused time and time again. So it's these errors that end up costing the facilities money and everything. So all the work gets sent back. And it's always the brainchild of somebody, in the administrative side, thinking that they can, get away with paying for cheaper labor. You end up having to send it back, and then they have to review it all over again, and you have to pay somebody else who's here, who's based, in the US, who speaks English and who can understand it, and you have to pay them to re-review it. So by the time it's all said and done, it's not a good deal. So again, while it may look like sometimes they go overseas, they're just going to come right back because nobody wants to get stuck with all those fines. I'm just saying, okay? So that's that part. And also now with what's going on, the current climate with the pandemic, a lot of people have been asking, what is this? What is it like? What is it like to work at this time in this field? Guys, you have to think about this. And this is the thing that is awe-inspiring. It inspires me because when I think about it, all of these datas, right, that they're reading off to us, how many patients have this, what are some of their like reports, and they were saying, well, if they have this chronic condition coupled with this, then this is the likelihood of this. So all of this data that they're using is data that is being like looked at and looked over by a medical coder. And yes, they may say, oh, it's the nurse that selects it. The nurse may select it, but at the end of the day, if a medical coder is looking at it, we're going to report whatever the doctor has documented in their note. So we're not really essentially taking from the nurse, even though they say it's the nurses that are reporting this. It's not the nurses. It's down to the medical coders. And so a lot of that, people who know it, right? They know that we're the ones that are responsible for all of this data that's coming out. And we need to make sure this data is clean. And we need to make sure this data is right and perfect because these are the statistics that everybody's looking at right now. I am very fortunate that I'm in this field because, look, everybody has to hunker down and stay in their homes. And because my job can be done remotely, because of this is another reason that I'm very thankful, and I am incredibly and eternally grateful for being in this field because this field affords me to be at home right now when there's this crazy threat out there. Now, am I excited about being in the house all the time? Right now, probably no, because I am very used to the interaction and the energy of my providers and the staff. But I understand it, and I will do it as long as it is the way that we need to be. So, but yeah, it is an incredible time to be a medical coder because, again, we are behind the scenes, but what we do is so important. All the information and the details and the data is coming from us because we're looking at this documentation and we're looking to see, which ones are reported correctly and things like that. So we are the ones that are responsible for this. And it is, like I said, it's just an incredible time. It's very humbling because, again, we are part of this experience and we're part of, we may not be on the front lines, but we are behind the scenes, and what we do is just as important. Of course, with respect to everybody who's literally putting their lives on the line, I can't thank them enough. And I hope that everything is just resolved as quickly as possible. And, that's all we can do is just do what we're supposed to do, and, again, with this field, to know and understand when and how to appropriately code these things is very important as well. We've gotten so much guidance that's been put out, and it's like, no, you start this way, and no, you start this way, and no, you start this way. So there's a lot of stuff that happened, and so now that the dust is finally settling and we've got the coding straight, because remember, a brand new code got created for this specifically. It got created. So to get a code created just like that is, this does not happen. This is not normal. So getting a code created, an actual diagnosis code created this quickly is insane. Okay, but these are not normal times, but to me, it's just to be a part of it and to know that, we're part of that data is really, truly incredible. So no, I don't think that it's going anywhere. And we are responsible for so many things. And I don't think sometimes people understand the weight of what we do. And really not knowing what it is that we do. Of course, we review records and we pull out diagnoses that are being treated or addressed in the encounter. And, we submit the highest level of specificity on the diagnosis along with the procedures that are performed by that provider for statistical purposes and for insurance needs. So that's very, very, very crucial. I mean, us knowing this data or this amount of information about a certain population, or whether it is in a certain area, a certain geographical area, these things are very important, and it's so key to life in general. So I mean, it's an incredible field. It really is. And again, it's not going anywhere. And if anybody says it's going anywhere, it's because they really, truly don't understand what it is that we're doing. And you're always going to need that. You're always going to need really good quality, high caliber medical coders, which is what I shoot for every single day, which is what I push for when I talk to you guys and when I say these things to you and when I tell you to study and when I tell you to read anything and everything you can, to watch videos about surgeries, to read things about different procedures that are happening so that you truly do understand. This is going above and beyond because this isn't normal. Regular coders just think some think that they can get their credential and just go into the easiest clinic and just be done with it. But if you really stop and think about it, medical coding is more than just, I'm just going to select this diagnosis and this procedure. Really, did you look deeply into this encounter? Did you make sure that anything else that's happening in this encounter is getting accounted for? Did you make sure that the procedures that they're being documented are actually what's happening? And that's the thing. You have to learn to ask the right questions, and you have to learn to ask the right things, okay? Which is what makes this field very fascinating. This field is incredibly fascinating. And for anybody to think that it's boring, again, they haven't been exposed to the right clinics or the right setting for them to truly, really understand what it is, So if you are interested in it, it's not going anywhere. It is intellectually fulfilling, and I will say, above all else, it is intellectually fulfilling because, yes, it is a field for nerds. Somebody said that. They're like, Blue, just say it. It's a field for nerds. It is absolutely a field for nerds. I don't mind calling myself a nerd. You know why? Because I know I am. I mean, that to me, there's nothing wrong with that. Because the thing is, to have a field that satisfies that curiosity and satisfies that intellectual spark is so key. It's so key to really enjoying the field that you are in. I truly enjoy medical coding. I truly enjoy the HIM field, which is health information management. I truly enjoy it. And the expression, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. I have said it many times. If you're new to my channel, welcome, because I'm going to keep saying it. I don't feel like I'm working. Even when I fuss at my providers and I try to get them back on track when they fall off, I still do love it. And it is a labor of love. You have to understand that. You have to understand that there's going to be things that you're going to read that you don't understand, that you have to look and dig deep and try to figure it out. And eventually, if you truly do surrender to that, it will come to you. You'll start to get into it, and it won't be work after a while. It'll be just like, ooh, let me figure this out. Let me figure this out. Let me figure this out. And it'll be just like that. But you have to really get into it, and you have to truly understand what's going on. And sometimes when you are in school and you're having to learn on your own, perhaps you're going to a trade school and they're not engaging with you, and that does happen. But what we do is very independently driven. So if that's what you're looking for, that's a really good thing. It is independently driven, meaning this, that you are looking up answers on your own. You're trying to figure it out on your own. And when you can't, that's when you reach out. Because we all don't understand everything. I have been in it over 10 years and I'm still learning a lot. And the more that I'm in it, the longer that I'm in it, the more I'm learning, because I'm trying to make those efforts to learn. And yes, this is about the outlook, because the outlook is going to be determined, like job satisfaction wise, on how much you put into it. So if you put your energy into it and if you put your mind into it, it will reward you. Okay. And it is, like I said, it's a satisfying career, but not everybody will agree. Some people will find it very dull and very isolating. It is not isolating to me, because I do make an effort to reach out to my providers. Some coders don't do that. So again, it all depends, which is why I share on my channel all of these things. So that way it gives you guys insight into how to make it more of your own as well. But really truly understanding what you're doing is really the start of it all. And that's going to take a big part on coming from you, but yeah, that is my thoughts on it. But yeah, it's not going anywhere, and this is a good time for it. A lot of people have said, are they going to need a lot of coders after this whole thing is done? Yeah, think about it. All the surgeries, elective surgeries, had to stop. They're going to start starting up pretty soon, but they all had to stop. So there's that create this time that we had of no elective surgeries anywhere creates a backlog. Okay, so while a person may have been scheduled for surgery, now you have another group of people that's waiting for surgery that was scheduled already. So now these people are in a backlog. So you have to sort of fit these people in. So there's going to be a trickle down effect. For this recovery time for all of us, there's going to be a trickle down effect. There's going to be more surgeries in about 9 months. So in about December, there's going to be a huge baby boom. And then in about another 9 months after that, there's going to be another baby boom. So about September 2021. September, October 2021, there's going to be another baby boom. I'm just saying. And these things happen. This is life. This is continual, okay? Then you have your ER coders, and then you have your cardiac coders and your neurology coders and things like that. I mean, you have your psychology and psychiatry coders, okay? Because what we have been going through, there's going to be some people that are impacted by this, okay? And because of that, they have to seek help. And again, there's going to be a spike in those encounters. So there's, with all specialties, really, whether it's family medicine, OBGYN, on and on and on, there's going to be a spike in care that's needed, okay? And then when you think about, like in terms of the normal amount of visits that a specialty has, coupling it with the leftover from what happened to all of us, right? And so again, it's going to go up. So there are going to be medical coders that are needed, okay? And if you're new and you're wondering, is it easy to get a job? That is a loaded question. There are positions for new medical coders with no experience. However, they come out in seasons, really. They really do come out in seasons. And that's what I've noticed, at least. Don't ask me exactly when, because every place is different. But I did do an episode where I was explaining job descriptions and job titles. I probably need to do another one again, so that way you guys can sort of see. Because sometimes they're looking for new medical coders, but they won't say that they're medical coders. They'll say medical records tech or medical records assistant, and then they'll start talking about this is for a new medical coder who is just credentialed and that kind of thing. So it's going to be under different names. A lot of times people will look for medical coders. I mean, naturally, that's your natural thought process, right? Look under medical coders, and then they see that they require all this experience, and they're thinking, well, how am I supposed to get experience if I can't even get my foot in the door? I have done so many episodes about this, guys. So I need to probably do like a whole playlist of the videos that I've done. But if you want to take a chance and look through all my videos, just type in with a little eyeglass, brand new medical coder advice or whatever, because I have many, many videos about it. We all had to get in somehow, some way. Yeah, did I have a hard time getting in? Yes, I did. And it took me 2 months. And one of the viewers didn't like that. She says, "Well, I've been looking for a whole year. Glad you got lucky." Well, I don't really think she was too glad that I got lucky. I worked really hard to try to get that job. It doesn't mean that she hasn't put in the effort, but I'm just saying that every place is different, and I don't know what her circumstances were. I don't know what her resume looked like. I don't know any of that information. So again, you have to be on the top of your game to get a job. You have to be resourceful, you have to get creative, and you also have to learn how to network and meet people. And if you are in a position to get externships or something like that, that's a good way to make job contacts. So that's another thing that you should consider if you are considering this field and you're looking into the outlook of it. That is something that you do have to do. And the thing about anything that's worthwhile is worth fighting for. And this is one of those ones that will make you fight for it. Medical coding is not messing around, which is why I have such a blunt nature when it comes to talking about this, because I would rather tell you guys the truth and the stuff that I wish somebody would have told me, rather than you guys to find it out and then you're like all this money in the hole and you don't know what to do now because what next, right? Well, at least I'm being truthful with you. At least somebody did tell you, because so many people have said, "I wish I would have known about your channel before because I didn't know this, and now all of a sudden I've got this issue." I wish somebody would have said. That's why I try to be as upfront and honest as I possibly can. Some people don't like it. There's nothing I can do, but I'd rather be told the truth than be lied to. I'm just saying. So, with that, I am going to go ahead and close it up. But I hope this answered your question. Yes, it is here. Yes, you do have to work for it. Yes, it is fulfilling. Yes, it is a wonderful, wonderful career. And one more final thought. If you are, some people have been asking me to, they consider themselves older. And I mean, to me, if you are still really wanting to learn things, your age doesn't matter. I knew a lady who was in her 60s. She was 61 when she got her medical coding credential. 61. She survived the ICD-9 to ICD-10 changeover. She survived that, and she's still coding to this day. So if she can do it, I'm just saying. I will go ahead and close this one up. But if you are a medical coder, a medical coding student, somebody curious about the fascinating world of medical coding, a provider or a nurse, I invite you to like and subscribe and follow me on my journey in medical coding. I will see y'all next time. Bye.